Siddhesh. So today I am going to talk about chatbots. Before we begin, how many of you here think that AI is going to take over all the human jobs? Excellent, 1, 2, 3. And show of hands, how many of you think AI is going to kill all the humans? Oh, so that's good. So it doesn't matter whether they take our jobs. A lot of people think we are going to be dead. So that's good. So to begin on that path, I'm going to talk about chatbots. The future of customer service. I've desperately added a question mark in there because I don't know that. So today I am going to talk briefly, very briefly. AI is a very vast topic and we cannot start the robotizing today. We'll just start, give you a brief introduction on AI, what is happening before the chatbots came in. Then I'm going to give you a brief intro to the Salesforce EINSTEIN. We are going to talk a brief about how you can build your own bot. Very briefly, I just got 5 minutes for that. We are going to talk a lot about intents, which is just a robot fancy talk for talk. And then we are going to go to the future to see what else might come in. And we'll be connecting to the Skynet defense grid.
Is that a Terminator behind you?
If no Terminator comes in, then we are safe from the future. So let's see how that works. So, quickly then, a brief history of AI. What is happening in AI today? We are in the very initial nascent stage of AI. We are consuming, we are creating a lot of data, and AI relies on data. Computers, robots to rise, they need data, and we are creating a lot of them. How many of you tweeted on your way here? Tweeted, Facebook, how many did you do? How many posts?
4.
There you go. Just before coming here, 4 tweets, right? So we are creating more data, we are putting information out there, the robots are reading it, they need it. So we need as much data as we can to give to the robots, to the AIs to understand, to figure out how humans talk, so that they can understand and they can talk back to us. So, very quickly, chatbots is not new. How many of you remember this guy? He was there, the world's first annoying chatbot. He used to chat you at exactly the wrong time. The reason being, he didn't have data. Now today, connect him to your data streams and see what happens. We'll see in a minute what happened. So, what has changed? We have become mature. Have we? I don't know. But we are creating more data. We are building an ecosystem. Everyone is on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Tell me anyone who is not in any of these. None of them. No social network. Awesome. Outlook data feed is also coming online. So, yay, you're using Outlook. But ecosystem is building wide. Everything is connected to the cloud. Everything is going online. So, we have a boom. We have a boom. So a forward-looking statement, everyone is familiar with Salesforce forward-looking statement. This is something different. There are different views on how AI is going to go in the future. I've just got 3 views. One that goes extreme. Elon Musk believes that robots are going to rise against us. I don't know. He's selling a flamethrower. You can buy it if the robots rise. Mark Zuckerberg thinks that robots are going to help humans. I tend to go that direction. But our favorite Mark Benioff says he doesn't care. They are just going to revolutionize customer service. So, yeah. So, we don't know how the AI is going to go further. So, no questions on the future of AI. Okay, already. I don't know the answer. These are 3 different views. So, let's quickly. What is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is simply robots, machines learning, right? Now, we have used if-else statement. Everyone here is a programmer, developer, you use if-else statement. So they are already learning, right? If-else is the first form of computer understanding. If this, do this. If not, do that. So what is different, right? What is different? The difference is learning. The difference in AI and a standard if-else statement is learning. Every person in this room, every person that you've met so far, we started with nothing. We started as babies, we were puking, we didn't know how to go to potty, and today we are sitting here wearing fancy clothes, doing fancy jobs, doing stuff that we never started with. Everything that you learned so far, you've learned while you were alive. And you've learned by making mistakes. Some of those you've learned by carrying over from was taught to you in schools, in society, by your parents, everything. That is the ultimate goal of intelligence. That is what we are trying to build as machines go further. So, right now, if a website displays you 404 error, which we know that it doesn't know where you're going, it doesn't know how to fix it. It just says 404, I don't know what you're doing. Simple as that. But if the website was if the website was intelligent enough, it would tell you, okay, this is wrong. You might want to go here, which we know our favorite search engine already does. If you put a wrong text in Google, it already predicts what you're trying to do. Is it intelligent? Not yet, but it's closer. Make sense? So this is the goal. To get that perfect nail in the end, we have to break a lot. You make a mistake, you go back, you start again. You make a mistake, you go back, you start again, until you learn. And that is the ultimate goal. And that is intelligence. Right? So.
Just I challenge that. The reason why I challenge that because I read a funny article the other day whereby chatbots were learning to be rude because the customers were rude to them.
Okay. That's a brilliant example. That's coming in the next slide.
It's the same sort of I'll do.
Exactly.
And the machine like to be horrible.
So they are learning. That's a win. What they are learning, you have to see. So AI is a very big topic. I'm just put a cloud in there to see. We are not going to go into deep of all of that. We're just going to see a small one up top. That's chatbot. We're going to see an even smaller one up on there. That is Salesforce EINSTEIN. So, some good examples of chatbots. Like he said, you give it good information, the chatbot will learn to interact with you nice. So, this is actually Zootopia, the movie. They actually have a messenger chatbot, you can chat with it. This is, I think, the airlines, airlines. They actually are using the Facebook chatbots. They are using the Facebook APIs. The chatbots are actually functional. They are right now on your messengers. There are thousands of chatbots on your messengers, and you can actually talk to people today. So these are some of the good examples of chatbots. Now come to the controversial ones. This is not a good example of chatbot. It was a Microsoft chatbot that was released on Twitter that turned racist in 24 hours. So the machines are learning. What they're learning, we need to find out. Yeah? So they actually shut down the AI in 24 hours, and that is a forever blot on the AI. So that's a brief history of AI. What happened before we come here? I think we are good here. Cool? So, the framework. So obviously Salesforce has come up with the AI framework. Salesforce has the big, nice Einstein platform. Chatbots is one part of that platform, and I'm going to only talk about that, nothing else, mostly because we don't have time and you don't want to be here the whole night, but I can talk about it all the time. So, Salesforce has integrated Einstein platform as the base of their entire framework. So that means you can actually use AI that is integrated into the whole platform. You can use AI to enhance, to make it learn. And because it's Salesforce, it's not really public, so you can make the AI learn whatever you want it to learn. So it can be taught to do customer service better. It can be taught to talk to customers. That can be the first line of support, or rather the zero line of support, before you go to the first line of support. So that's directly embedded into it. It is a machine learning, deep learning algorithm that learns from its mistake, starts predicting different things, and stuff like that. So, why should you use Einstein chatbots? Obviously, we all need instant service. The SLAs have reduced from 2 weeks to 2 minutes. If someone complains on Twitter, you can just pick up anything and see Wendy's Twitter feed. If they don't reply back in 2 minutes, people will start complaining about it. So, they deliver personal experience. They integrate with your service cloud, and your service cloud agents, instead of answering stupid questions, they can actually focus on solving an actual real problems, right? Those who are reading the slide have already read the joke, so I'm going to move further. So, disadvantages of using a bot. To be very fair, the bots are not very perfect. They might say something unexpected that you didn't plan out. As you saw in the Microsoft chatbot, there were some words in there. So they are not very personal. So if you are having like a very service that can touch someone personally, they are not very good at it. And you'll see, I'll show you my chatbot. It's hilarious. But chatbots are time consuming. That is something I've learned. So I got this chat. I started building this in January. Today is May. So I'm feeding it inputs all the time, and it still hasn't learned the perfect thing that I want. But they take time to learn. They are still growing. They are still consuming data. And yes, so they cannot take decisions. Not yet. So we are saying no Terminator here. So they yet cannot take decisions. So therefore, not very useful for critical functions. So this is just boring. Okay. So very simple, oversimplified diagram. You have a live agent. Anyone who doesn't know what is a live agent? Excellent. We are amongst the intelligence. So you have a live agent, you have a service cloud. Chatbots enhances the framework. So it is built on top of it. You plug in your Einstein chatbot into the live agent. There are different ways you can do it. So you can also plug in when the live agent is offline, which is the bot I'm going to show. You can also connect while your agents are online. So take the first edge off. And when the bot can't answer, then take it to the agent. And then it is directly connected to your Salesforce data, as also it is connected to the Einstein platform. So whatever it doesn't understand, it processes it. The agent, so here we have service where you can again retrain the bot by taking out the good and bad that it didn't understand, and then make it relearn the commands. Okay, so very simplified version. This is not the accurate version, just to be sure. So, any questions so far? Just going to hop over a demo, quick demo. So that's my community. It is online. It is live. As you can see, assume that this is a community of an awesome company that uses AI. I'm going to say I am. Let's see if this works. Oh, there you go. It failed. Okay. How can I help? Okay, so how can I help you today? So, it didn't identify my name. So let's move on from there. So, let's see if it can find my order. So, it has basically found my order. I ordered a flamethrower, zombie apocalypse, and my order is in processing, right? Now, this is a standard if-else thing, right? It's nothing complex. You can also do this using flow, right? But now, let's see. Can I? I don't know. I don't think I can. So now, first thing I said that I can't find my order, so I'm just going to give the same order in a different way. When will my order arrive? So now I've rephrased the same statement, and now it has again asked me the same question. So I'm going to give it a response. I hope this works. So I ordered a RC helicopter, and now it is lost. The bot identified that my helicopter is lost, and then it has just given me a next quick response. The first one was just an if-else loop, saying that if this, then this. Now here, it has identified that I've lost something, so it has given me choices. Now here, there is no if-else. So whatever I'm going to do next is not programmed. The bot is going to try to understand it. And I'm going to show you. I'm not bluffing, I'm going to show you.
Could you read out the messages?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so sure. Okay, so I just put in my order number 0-11, and it said, thanks, let me look up order for you. Found it. My order number 11 for RC helicopter is lost. It identified the keyword lost, and it said, oh, looks like we have lost your order, that is bad. I can help you cancel your order or place another order for the same product. What would you like me to do? So here we are at a decision point, right? So I'm going to say, Let's see if this works. Cancel my order. Did it work? Did it work? Did it? Thinking. I'm going to do it again. There you go. I'm so sorry you have to cancel your order. Are you absolutely sure you want to cancel your order? So now it has actually understood the context because I have kept the order number that I searched for RC helicopter. I say yes. So it has given me a message. Your order has been cancelled. Sorry to see you go. So now I'm giving thanks. This is again not programmed. You can I've tried with 7 to 8 different phrases. By the way, I've picked this up from Google, but I'll explain in a minute. So it says, "You're welcome. Let me know if I can help you with it. Anything with it." So I'm just messing around. You are bad. You didn't understand that. You suck. Whoa, you need some meditation there, big fudge. Take a deep breath. So it actually understood my sentiment. So here, this is the only one example I have where it actually tried to guess the sentiment, which is frustration, and then it predicted, "I don't need your help." Goodbye. Click the end chat. So it actually understood wrong because I was pissed off and it didn't figure out and it just said, "Okay, let's just close the chat." Right? So
What would happen if you actually typed the word "your" wrong? If you actually did the misspell, would it?
I don't know. Let's see. I think I will close the chat now. Let's see what it does. I don't know what it will do. Yeah, it won't understand. So, but obviously, the more data set you give it, the more it will try to understand. This data set is very small. So, very simple examples. I've just tried to cover maximum scenarios in there. Obviously, instead of cancel, if I had asked it to reorder, it would again place an order and submit an order. By the way, order is actually, I'm going to show you now, is actually coming from my Salesforce org. So order is actually a custom object that I have built where I'm capturing all the orders. The products are from your standard Salesforce products. Let's not waste time going there. I'm just going to show you the cool stuff, that is the bot and how it actually identified it. So that's my bot. So this was the first one that we picked up. We saw the order status. Can everyone see the screen? Should have asked that a long time ago. But okay, so this is the, actually this was the first failure, so it couldn't identify that failure. So at the very beginning, it tries to understand, so it says, okay, when you give a message saying, any of these 47 occurrences, it will try to plug this in. Okay, so what I did was I actually put this bot online and I asked some of my friends to just play along with it, and whatever they were typing, I was just feeding it back in and retraining it. So there are some garbage values in there as well. So basically this is all if-else loop, right? This is like a standard flow. This is nothing complex. If you can see, the bot is like taking a variable in, it is then clearing out the order number because it's a new one. It then gives me a message, then it tries to validate. This is standard Salesforce stuff. I'm not going to go into detail of this. This is how you build a flow, this is how you build a workflow. Very simple stuff. You can also basically call an Apex class. I have an Apex class, I trigger an Apex class, then I feed in the order number. It then gives me the order product and order status.
Is that Apex class using invocable methods? Or?
Invocable methods, yes. I was just about to show you that. So that's my Apex class. I take variable in, I give variable out. There are lots of blogs out there, trailheads out there to do what I'm doing so far, so you can actually look them up. I'm plugging in my blog name at the very end. I've collected all of them and post on the first blog. So you can go there and... let's not go there. So there are lots of messages there. That is not the main point of this bot, but yeah, invocable methods. These are like standard. This actually I picked up from some blog. I don't remember which one, but this is an actual code from a blog. So this is like this simple stuff on creating a bot.
Is the fuzziness, because nobody knows where's the order. The reality would be, say for instance, you could say where's order,
Yes.
or where's ordering, but if it's not on the list, then fail. Is there fuzziness? Because
Yes.
in my head, if I said to you where's order, you don't in your head, you're matching it with where's the order, where's the orders, where's the whatever, you just understand it.
That is where the data set comes in, which I'm going to explain in a minute. So the FX class does not really detect, like, does not tell the bot on what to say. It is just done for getting Salesforce data. Like if a person has said this, then do get this data. So what a person has said comes in a different format.
Where I'm going with this is trying to get that line between just match
Exactly.
stuff and
Exactly. So this is like the gentleman said very correctly. This is not intelligence. This is basic computer programming. Everyone can do that. We are doing this since the day of workflows. Come on. We are doing field updates and email triggers on field updates and stuff like that, right? But just the beauty of this, right? So this is the dialogue. So this is the standard dialogue. The basic unit of a Salesforce bot is a dialogue. A dialogue can be a series of things that it communicates. It could be a script. It says, okay, if I get number one, if I get where is my order, trigger this dialogue. If I get where my order at, trigger this dialogue. So the dialogue is what starts the whole conversation. You can then navigate the user through a different channel of conversation. Like at the very end, if you see, it then says the order is lost. So now I'm redirecting it to another dialogue. So if the order state is lost, you go to order has been lost. So very simple navigation. It then goes to the dialogue has been lost. Now, anyone think that this is just like if else? Like standard not intelligence? Right? It said, okay, order has been lost, take it to this place. Simple enough, we start another dialogue, it looks like your order has been lost, blah, 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 blah. I can help you cancel or place an order, and then it stops. And this is where the intelligent bit comes in. So this dialogue says, I can help you cancel the order or reorder the same product, but then it tells the robot to do nothing. It doesn't, I've not programmed anything below this, and it just waits for customer input. Now this is where the magic comes in, and this is what I wanted to drive at. So then we have a separate dialogue for canceling an order, for reordering the same product. Again, that takes the user through different things. But then, how does the robot know, how does the chatbot know which dialogue to trigger? And that is the beauty of something we call intents, and which is the next topic right now. I'm going to show you all of them. So these are the utterances. So what you see below are the utterances that some of my friends put in. I did not program them. They put in, the bot captured them, and they said, okay, I don't understand this, where do I put in? And then we reprogrammed the bot to say, okay, if someone says I need to cancel, I need to do this, trigger the cancel dialog. Yeah? So this is where the information comes in. The cleaner the data set, the more the information that we have, the smarter the robot becomes. Now, I'm going to show you. So as you can see, I initially started with 20 utterances. I'm going to show you what they are. And these are something that have come up after that. So, this is where the intelligence comes in. As you can see, the chatbot that I built is 75% accurate. As you saw, it has still got some problem. It is still giving itself 75%. I will go with 30%. But cancel order, it can go 25% correct. As we saw, it failed once. So it can only guess 25% correct. Reorder the same product, it's almost 50% correct. So basically, the order set that I have put in at the initial stage is matching the order set that someone from outside can do it. Frustration, as you can see, it is 83% correct. That is because I picked it up from Google. Google Dialogflow gives you standard data set. So I picked up a small talk data set from there, And frustration, who are you? End chat, thanks. All of these are almost 85-95% correct. There's one with 100% correct. It didn't fail again. Okay. So today morning there was one that was 100% correct. Now it has gone down to 53%. So every single time someone types something, every single time someone chats with the bot, it keeps understanding and keeps relearning itself. So what it doesn't understand will come in this view. I actually did it today morning, so you don't see this. Whatever you chat, so whatever failures that we saw today will be captured over here, telling the user that I didn't understand this, tell me what to do. You keep programming it, you keep putting it back in, and the robots become smarter and smarter and smarter. And that's the whole idea. So this is where the Einstein platform comes in. Einstein platform also gives us the ability to collect data sets. These data sets are standard data sets. You can get sentiment data sets, like frustration is a sentiment data set, where it tries to understand the frustration of the person from a linear text. One thing it fails, and fails very badly, is sarcasm. I tried that. It doesn't understand sarcasm. We tried with French, and it understood thank you and small talk bits, but it didn't understand frustration as well. So basically, the same diagram that I showed you earlier, but now smarter. Sometimes someone chats with the live agent. So menu option is what you have, like a standard if else, if else, if else. That's the dotted line. But then it sees the utterances, it sees the text that user sends in, it sends to the Einstein platform, and then it tries to guess what the user wants, and it keeps on learning itself. So if it doesn't guess something, it keeps on feeding itself back, and if the rule matches, it sends back to the bot, and then you can do this. Now the chatbot maker, which you all must be interested in, there's a trailhead for that. Chatbot maker is very intuitive, it's admin friendly, you don't need any code, you can actually build a bot without code. For complex stuff you need code. It can trigger flow, it can trigger epics, it can trigger emails. And you can set 20, like you can start your first bot with like 20 different utterances. Like you said, cancel my order, or how do I cancel my order, etc., etc. 20 utterances, and you keep programming it. And as it is live, as it goes live, it keeps reprogramming itself. And that's the beauty of Untitled. Any questions?
Yeah. I'll bring it to life with a human example.
Yeah.
And it's this sort of linkage here between the data and this increasing pool of data and learning. With two human beings. This human being is intelligent. There are people amongst us who are intelligent. But they can't remember their mom's birthday. They don't know sort of who the movie star was. There's no data in that person. But there's fundamental, raw intellect, intelligence, whatever, and there's no dependency on data. Vice versa, you'll all know somebody whose data sitting in their head can remember everything and anything, but they just think. So it's that within here, or within this Einstein thing, it's that intelligence thing, because what I'm seeing here is this dependency on, if the data comes in, it comes in, it comes in, then the intelligence learns.
Yes.
But given that this is artificial intelligence, I'm benchmarking against real intelligence.
So, okay,
If you follow where I'm
obviously
coming
it's not going to go with real intelligence in a million years. That's a different thing altogether. But this is focusing on the hosted Salesforce system.
Because otherwise this is just,
Exactly.
you need tons and tons and tons and tons of data,
Yes.
which then you have the whole problem of, within that data set, there'll be all sorts of embedded linkages, man-made,
Yes.
that will then delude the intelligent thinking, because it's, oh, there's a link between this and this, therefore
Correct.
there's that.
But
And that's not intelligence,
Google,
that's just
Facebook,
misplaced memory.
no, Google and Facebook actually gives you sentiment data as well. Salesforce platform also does, but I found their sentiment data not very accurate. But I didn't play with a lot of their data set. But they give you huge amounts of data. Yes, so there are NLP platforms, Salesforce language platform and all. They also provide you with different information different data sets. But at the end, you'll have to train the model using that data set that you receive. So you will get the data. The data will tell you, okay, this is the data set. Now, what do you want to do with that? Like once the robot understands, once the chatbot understands that this is what is the message behind this text, like once it understands that this is frustration, what do you want it to do? So that is what you'll have to tell it. So you can get that data set. So I'm using the word data set, but that's actually the natural language processing data, and that data is also growing. So as in they process more information, the data keeps on growing. So the more information, the more accurate the bot becomes. So this is like a training data. This is like you telling it that these are the 5 sentences. If you see these 5, something similar to these 5, do this. The 6th sentence that comes in, it tries to guess on its own based on the 5 it saw earlier. So the more training that you give to the bot, the more accurate it becomes, and the less it moves up in live world. Yeah?
Is the training limited only to the intent of the user, or can you also train responses from, say, a data set of agent responses? And then I think in your example, all of the responses were sort of in the same way. So when you ask one question, you always got the same response. Can you train it so that for the same question you answer
yes.
in different ways?
Okay, so the question is like we can program it to understand different responses. Can it also give different response? So yes, it can. I'm just lazy. I just program it for 3. But obviously that is the big developer function in this. Training the bot is going to be an incremental activity that we continue doing. I've actually trained it for quite some things, and also like some basic frustration, thanks, and stuff like that. So it can understand, like it can understand the sentiment, it can understand the intent of the customer. What do you want to do with that intent or that sentiment is up to you. So what do you want to do it? If you want to capture a lead, you want to escalate the case, whatever you want to do with it, the bot can just understand. They don't know what to do with it. Yeah?
Is there value in these data sets and people selling them commercially?
I got them for free. I don't know if there's a pricing model behind it. I actually found one data set on AppExchange, which is actually free. I'm not going to say anything bad about them. But they have. So there are some data sets that are on AppExchange as well. As you can see.
So just one of those industry models that people might think they can create some IP behind.
It's like everything on Google and Facebook. It's the data that you provide it that's
Yeah.
the product and the value proposition. It's your responses to that data that it's using to further learn
Yeah.
that the Googles and Facebooks of the world are monetizing.
And one more thing is, one thing that I've noticed is, I got this from NeuroFlash bot training data. I got some from Google Dialogflow. I cannot see that data. So I had to assume what they're telling me is correct. So I don't know what is that data. I just fed it into the bot, and it is actually accurate. It is mostly accurate, but you don't see that data set. So it's just, you get it. Although I've seen, so I was actually following some blogs on the Einstein platform. That data actually comes in CSV format. I've actually not seen that data set, so I'm going to comment very less on that. But that is my next step. So I'm actually playing with data set. Okay, so one last thing I was about to show you. So as you can see, like it has failed once, right? So you can actually program this bot, and this is something cool that I like. Let me see. So I just gave it something. It still didn't understand. So if someone is just messing with the bot, see if this. Oh, it's just stuck in a loop. Okay. The problem I was trying to show, and I think it has failed again, it automatically tries to escalate your case to a human agent, which was working till afternoon. Now it's not working. But you can actually program the program the bot to escalate the case. I think that is the 100% that dropped to 55% since afternoon. But you can actually program it to escalate the cases that it doesn't understand and capture the input. So once it escalates the case, it also captures that input in a custom object that I've created, so you can actually see what it has understood and what it has not understood. So that actually, I actually covered the next bit as well. We discussed about intents, we discussed about data sets. So it's not just an if-else loop. You train the data set, you train the bot with some sample data, and it tries to guess the remaining responses. We actually did this experiment, like we had participants from all over the place, and we tried it with different combinations, the different way of how you structure the input, and the bot was not trained for some of them, and it failed almost 50% of the time. It failed, but 50% actually guessed correctly. So the more data you give it, the more it understands its purpose, and the more correct it becomes. So I was actually going to show you the intent library, which I've already shown you at this stage. So you can actually get intent and sentiments from some of the good providers. There are a lot of models online. You can. I personally prefer Google Dialogflow because I like some of the responses when I started plugging them in. The bot actually becomes more accurate. You can keep building better models, and then it starts predicting more accurately. And obviously, once you've trained the bot, once it is live, if you do a beta release to the customers, the input that comes in from the customer can then again retrain the bot to then understand the context of what you are trying to do. So this is like, I just wanted to give like a simple thing. I picked this up from Trailhead. Basically, you create a data set, you put that in the model, the bot then classifies the data and then starts predicting. So you collect the data set which is having different labels, it then takes into the model and then it starts predicting how much accurate it can be. Okay, so this is actually coming from the platform app services. There are a lot of many services around. Any questions so far? So, to the future, AI is becoming everywhere. Everyone is talking about it. Actually, this week you won't believe it. So this week there are actually 2 AI talks happening right in the city around Salesforce. I won't tell you where. So AI is everyone. Everyone is talking about it. Everyone should get on the chatbots. Some of the cool things about chatbots with Salesforce is that they plug in directly into your customer service channel. So you already have a lot of data. So we already collect all that data. We already have it. So they can actually augment the customer service and take off some of the simple queries from the agents. And then whenever there's a complex query, they can escalate them back to the agents and proceed from there. So, in summary, we have the conversational AI back into Salesforce CRM. They are integrated into Live Agent, which is, I cannot stress this enough. Like, you don't have to build a chatting system from scratch. It's right there in your Live Agent, right? Your Live Agent is live. And then it can actually be enhanced using the same old features. Like triggers, you can, so once you the bot catches something, can program it to store an object, can then do a trigger, you can do a workflow, you can trigger emails, you can do a lot of other things. And yeah. So that's about it actually. How are we on time? Are we very early or very late? Okay. So any questions? Any final questions, thoughts?
First question, just a statement. So I work for a small company, less than 8 people, and I'm looking at customer service. I'm looking at chatbots, not because we're, people think we're an enterprise, thousands of customer service staff, but actually with very few staff, chatbots can really help us scale our business.
Yes.
So it's something really can help us out.
Exactly, yeah. So that is actually a very wonderful use case for chatbots. For smaller companies, this actually, the initial building investment is very less because this does not help, like you don't have to learn something new. This is like standard Salesforce. Most of it is standard Salesforce. And then just plugging data from different places. So that actually is a very good use case. Scales up.
Just one thing. One thing I'm conscious of, and this is because a lot of this is being driven by technical developers, nerdy people, everyone like that. Everything's intelligence and IQ. Yeah, there's EQ. And EQ is does everybody know what EQ is? Okay, EQ is like the emotional intelligence, and that's more to do with, like, I know you've got the word sentiment buried in there and nested under the AI rule set, but it's almost, what's that EQ side? Because I think from an industry point of view, there's a danger here of us building very rules-based, machine learning, works it out in the end thing, but what we lose is that humanity, that empathy, that whatever, simply because at this sort of stage here, we haven't put EQ on the table.
Correct.
What does that look like for sure? What does it look like as a platform, as a thing, as a, what's the technical version of EQ?
No, obviously, as of now, detecting your emotions is very difficult on the chatbot.
Or not detecting mine, where's the chatbot's EQ? I don't care about mine version.
Okay.
Where's the chatbot's EQ?
Oh, so for that you actually...
Because that's going to replace Fred from sales, who's a really cool guy who I get on with, and I'm now dealing with this rule-based agent.
No, so here's the thing, right? So, and I cannot stress this enough. So far, nothing we have seen so far can replace a human person in there. Nothing.
That's why I'm going, right, that's why I'm putting the EQ side of the table.
No, so what it actually does is, you can ask any Salesforce admin. They don't want to reset password all their life. Just a simple button, forget password, elevates them to do something better, right? So chatbot is something like that. It's not a emotional, it's not a replacement of someone. It is like take the edge off. Repeated questions. You can actually plug the chatbot to knowledge articles. I forgot to miss, there was one topic where it can give standard response. Yeah? See, I'll give you a very quick story.
No, all that I understand, I'm just looking to the future, as in sort of 10, 15 years' time, of that human element to it.
It's not, it's going, human element will, I don't think it will be. Again, as I said, I cannot talk too much about the future because it can go either way. A lot of technologists start having debate around it. I don't, if you are on Twitter, if you ask Elon Musk, he will say the bots are just going to come and kill you. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't believe that. I'm not the one to judge that. But here's the, so there's a very quick incident that I remember from my childhood, right? The place where I grew up, we had a lot of power cuts. And every time we used to have a power cut, we used to call the power guy. And that guy on the phone, like if the power cut was at 9 o'clock, you call him at 9 o'clock, he said, yes, the area power is down, we'll get back to you. If you call him after 11 o'clock, he'll be like, stop calling me. Yeah? As I grew older, like I think it was like 5 to 6 years, I don't know, I didn't call that often, whenever my dad didn't call. They started using a recorder. Yeah? The recording did not replace his job. They started using a recording. It just helped calm him down because already the power cut was there. Everyone was frustrated. He couldn't do anything about it. So they had a recording. The recording didn't replace his job. It did not give me any emotional thing. I was cursing at that recording even then because obviously I wanted to watch my cartoon. But it helped him go home stress-free. Imagine you get, if you have a common query that a bot can take care of, and then when there are actual complex queries that a customer service handler can handle, their job becomes much easier. Much easier as well as they grow. So take the small things off the plate and they can actually focus on real stuff, real issues.
So for me, what this does is do for text, emails, whatever, that IVR did for phone and customer services. So IVR was great to call deflection mechanism, but actually most people would rather message. And where we're going to see some harmonisation is it's not going on to live chat, it's going on to WhatsApp, Facebook.
Yes.
Messenger. That's the changes I think that are happening to at Google or at Salesforce. Well, this is rubbish. This is summer 19 release, and there'll be a response.
But all I'm trying to do is harmonise that AI, almost science fiction views of the intelligence, and how can we start sowing the seeds now? I appreciate a lot of this is for the automated script running and whatever, but given that now all this free time will be created by for admin people and IT people, how do we then make intelligent stuff?
Yes.
As opposed to database engines.
So that question is actually from Mark Zuckerberg.
Show me intelligence. Show
putting
me
it on his Twitter.
thing.
So because Mark Zuckerberg really believes in this and he actually wants bots to be really intelligent. I can't comment anything on that. So that's my social media if you want to get in touch. Actually, I didn't put my blog link in there. It's the same thing as for Ninja. I'll be putting the code samples, everything that you've seen so far. There are links to different trailheads that you can do. It's just sforce.ninja, all of them are same. And that's about it. We have a terminator.